Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Chinese class. When shopping in a store, you need to know how to ask for prices, order items in Chinese, and understand the shop assistant's replies. But in Taiwan, people sometimes speak Chinese quite quickly and may even omit certain words, which can make it harder to understand. Today, we're going to learn a few very practical sentences for ordering bubble tea in Chinese. These sentences may not often appear in textbooks, but they are very important when ordering bubble tea. Are you ready? Let's get started. This is bubble tea, a very famous drink in Taiwan.
珍珠奶茶，珍珠奶茶。
A place that specializes in selling bubble tea and various beverages is called a handshaken beverage shop.
手摇饮料店，手摇饮料店。
Taiwan has many handshaken beverage shops, and each one has its own unique flavor. Many people who travel to Taiwan make sure to have at least 1 cup of bubble tea. Then, today, let's practice ordering a drink for ourselves. This is a conversation between a clerk and a customer. If you really like bubble tea, you might hear it in the shop every day. Hello, welcome. Hi, I'd like a cup of bubble tea. Sure, large or medium? Large, thank you. Would you like the regular amount of sugar and ice? Half sugar, no ice. Got it. That'll be $50. Do you have a company tax ID number or a carrier app? Neither is needed, thank you. Okay, that was $100 from you. Here's your change, $50. Please come again. Thanks, goodbye. This text is our goal for today. Because it's a bit long, I'll explain it in 2 parts. Next, I will go through it sentence by sentence and show you how to say it in Chinese. We've already learned how to greet people, which is by saying
你好，你好。
If you want to sound more polite, you can say, This text is our goal for today. Because it's a bit long, I'll explain it in 2 parts. Next, I will go through it sentence by sentence and show you how to say it in Chinese. We've already learned how to greet people, which is by saying
你好，你好。
If you want to sound more polite, you can say,
您好，您好。
When speaking to someone more formal or important, we use ni instead of ni to show respect. In Taiwan, addressing someone as nin in the workplace is considered a basic and warm form of courtesy. Another common phrase is
欢迎光临，欢迎光临。
which means welcome to our place. It is a more formal expression, often used in service settings like stores, department stores, and restaurants. If you are hosting a party at home and want to welcome friends or guests, simply saying
欢迎，欢迎。
is enough. To sound warmer and more enthusiastic, you can repeat it as
欢迎，欢迎，欢迎，欢迎。
which feels more natural and friendly. Next is the customer's response. Here, we have a very important verb,
要，要。
which means to want, and it's not just a passing thought, but a clear intention to achieve a certain goal. For example, I want to order food. I want to try on clothes. I want to go to class. In daily life, many of your actions involve your own will or intention, and this is when you can use
要，要。
which works similarly to the English word want. In Chinese, yao can be followed by the noun such as, I want a cup of bubble tea. It can also be followed by a verb such as, I want to order bubble tea. However, unlike in English, Chinese does not need to add to before the verb. You can simply connect yao directly with the verb. That's
要
Next, we have a cup of bubble tea. You're probably already familiar with bubble tea, a delicious drink, so that part should be no problem. You also know
一
the Chinese character for the number 1. The part you need to pay more attention to is
杯
is a Chinese measure word used for counting drinks served in cups. It works like a cup of coffee in English, where a cup describes the quantity of coffee. A similar case in English is a piece of cake, where a piece of indicates the portion size of the cake. The difference in Chinese is that every noun, depending on its properties, has its own specific measure word. For example, things served in cups can use
杯
as the measure word. So we say
一杯水
a cup of water,
一杯酒
a cup of wine,
一杯可乐
a cup of cola. Many people find Chinese measure words hard to remember because there are so many of them, and they can be a bit complicated. My advice is to think of the measure word as part of the noun itself. When you learn a new Chinese noun, memorize its measure word together with it as one unit. Over time, you'll naturally get used to including measure words in your sentences. So,
一杯珍珠奶茶
Beye is simply the measure word for a bubble tea. There's also a small pronunciation detail to note. The number is usually pronounced with the first tone.
一
However, in Yibei Zhenju Nei Cha, I pronounce it with the fourth tone.
一
This is due to a Chinese tone, santi, tone change rule. When
一
followed by another first tone syllable, like
杯
its tone changes from the first tone to the fourth tone, becoming
一杯
The reason is simple. Without the tone change, the pronunciation would be stiff and awkward, almost robotic. So, whenever
一
is followed by a first tone syllable, don't forget to change it to the fourth tone. This is just one of several tone change rules. For now, remembering this one will be enough, and we'll learn more later. Now, you should be able to say this sentence. Hello, I'd like a cup of bubble tea.
您好，我要一杯珍珠奶茶。您好，我要一杯珍珠奶茶。
Great. The complicated part is over. Next, let's look at some explanations and additional notes about the words. When the customer finishes ordering a drink, the clerk will usually reply with
好，
meaning no problem, to express agreement or permission, similar to okay in English. Basically, just saying how is enough. But if you want your tone to sound warmer and more polite, you can say
好的， 好的
Here,
的的
is pronounced in a neutral tone, short and light, which softens your tone and makes the whole sentence sound more natural and pleasant. Next is
还是
which has the same meaning as the English word or. It indicates a choice between two options and also helps turn a sentence into a question. For example,
你喜欢珍珠奶茶还是咖啡？你喜欢珍珠奶茶还是咖啡？
do you like bubble tea or coffee? Or
你是台湾人还是英国人？你是台湾人还是英国人？
are you Taiwanese or British? If you don't have trouble making choices, this word should be no problem for you. Next is the question of drink sizes. In English, you often hear large, medium, small. In some coffee chains, it's venti, grande, tall. In Chinese, we say
大、中、小。
when describing size or volume, these three words can be used together with measure words. So, to express the size of a bubble tea, you could say
大杯、中杯、小杯。大杯、中杯、小杯。
when the clerk asks you large or medium, you can simply tell them the size you want, or you can say the full sentence. I want a large cup of bubble tea. Then don't forget to say, thank you. I guess they'll be happy and might even reply, your Chinese is very good. That way you'll have another chance to practice saying thank you.
谢谢，谢谢。我要一杯大杯珍珠奶茶，谢谢。我要一杯大杯珍珠奶茶，谢谢。
Think we're done? Not at all. This is just the beginning. In Taiwan, even a small cup of bubble tea is filled with the thoughtfulness of serving others. You don't have to accept the shop's default sweetness level. You can freely choose the level you like. And beyond simply choosing hot or cold, you can also fine-tune the amount of ice in your drink. Take out your notebook. This part is very important. Everyone's taste is different. To make sure each customer can enjoy bubble tea the way they like it. In Taiwan, you can choose to make it sweeter or less sweet. This option is called
甜度，甜度。
It's the same with ice. Some people don't like drinks too cold or dislike how melted ice waters them down, so they ask the staff to add less ice. The English ice cube is called
冰块，冰块。
By the way, kuai is the measure word for bunkuai, used for chunk-shaped items. At bubble tea shops in Taiwan, sweetness levels usually come in 5 options: full sugar, less sugar, half sugar, a little sugar, and no sugar.
全糖、少糖、半糖、微糖、无糖。全糖、少糖、半糖、微糖、无糖。
For ice, it also comes in 5 options: full ice, less ice, half ice, a little ice, and no ice.
全冰、少冰、半冰、微冰、去冰。全冰、少冰、半冰、微冰、去冰。
You can memorize your preferred sweetness and ice levels so that ordering next time will be quick and easy. If you don't specify sweetness or ice, the staff will give you a regular bubble tea. In Chinese,
正常，正常。
means the same as regular in English. So, a regular bubble tea means full sugar and full ice. Personally, I've never had full sugar bubble tea. A little sugar and no ice are my favorites. How about you? Next, let's learn the question particle.
吗？吗？
Simply adding this word at the end of a sentence turns it into a question. For example,
甜度、冰块、正常。
becomes
甜度、冰块，正常吗？甜度、冰块，正常吗？
is the sweetness and ice level regular? Another example,
你住在台北。你住在台北。
becomes
你住在台北吗？你住在台北吗？
do you live in Taipei? Now that you've learned the words qiandu,
甜度、
sweetness,
冰块、
ice,
正常
or regular,
吗？
question particle, you'll be able to understand the question.
甜度、冰块，正常吗？
Would you like the sweetness and ice level to be regular? In this conversation, the customer replies,
半糖、
half sugar, and
去冰、
no ice. Here,
去、
means to remove or to take away, so
去冰。
means taking out the ice, which is no ice in English. All right, now that we've ordered the drink, let's take a short break and then let's practice reading these sentences. Now, let's read it together.
您好，欢迎光临。你好，我要一杯珍珠奶茶。好的，大杯还是中杯？大杯，谢谢。甜度、冰块正常吗？微糖，去冰。
Have you learned how to order bubble tea? I'm gonna grab a cup now. See you next time. Think we're done?